In this video, let's talk about another way of selecting element. We've talked about simple selectors, that is combination of element, class, and ID. The next category is what you call the CSS combinators. And for this, we have 4 types. And one is called Descendant Selector and Child Selector, Adjacent Sibling Selector, and General Sibling Selector. All these are in the course PDF, so you need to download and make reference to it. So let's get started with the CSS combinators and talk about what is called Descendant Selector. So as usual, I have created a new folder called the combinators. So have a look here. If you check the folder here, it's called combinators. That's the second method of selecting. Under that, we have different selectors. And the first one we talk about is called Descendant Selector. So open it. So I have one heading called Descendant Selectors. And for this, it's also named as Spacer. So spacer is same as what? Descendant Selector, because we use spacing to select a descendant element or selector. And I have my underline, tells you which topic you are trading. That's why I have it here. I have H2, how to learn CSS, follow tutorials, and then a div. With this one, I have one div. And inside I have p tag, follow online resources. And then down here, I have one p tag called self-taught approach. The Descendant Selector allows you to select all elements that are descendant of a specified element. And this can be very useful when you want to apply styles to all child elements of a particular element. So what is that? Let's explore with code. So what it means here is that we can style specific element that is descendant of a specified element. So this approach helps us to avoid selecting multiple elements or applying multiple colors or multiple CSS on a specific element. So looking at this, first of all, to understand Descendant Selector, you need to understand the structure of your HTML code. Look here, we have one element here. This element is descendant of what? This body. I mean, when I say descendant, it means that a child of a parent. So looking at this element here, this body here, this is a body element. This one, the body is an element here now. And inside we have individual children. This one, and this. But for this div, you can see that this div wraps something inside that. We see that it wraps the entire what? The H2 p tag, and inside I have another div. That's what you call nesting. How we are nesting things together. So before we move on, let's install a popular extension called autoclose. So this extension is going to help me if I'm trying to rename a tag. It's going to rename the closing tag automatically for me as well. So let's install that and let me show it to you. So I will disable it and then I'll demo for you to see. Let me uninstall for the meantime. Let me reload it. Let me restart my server because after that my server has crashed. So I need to restart my server. Now it's up and running. So let me prove to you why I need that tag. Okay, so let's say that now. Let me have some spacing here. When I click on that, I see where my tag ends. You see that it starts from line number 14 and ends at line number 20, meaning that this one is one child having individual children inside. So if I want to remove this one, you can see that this one has moved, but this one hasn't removed yet, the closing one. So let me undo it and enable the extension called autoclose. Yes, and now let me install it again, and now it has been installed. So let me save the file. Now again, if I want to remove this one, see that line number 14 and line number 20, all the text has been removed. Or if I want to change this one to p tag, it has done for me automatically than coming down here and then change it. So let's remove this one, this div, line number 14 and line number 20. Again, let's have a look at the structure of this to better understand what is called descendant. So one more time, we have the parent body. This one is the first parent, this body here. And inside, we have this parent body has one child here and has one child also, one child, one child, one child, and one child. Understand the hierarchy of your HTML element. And then inside this child, we have one child inside this particular div, which is div number, this div I'm referring to, this div. So when you say descendant, we can say that H2, HR, all these children are descendants of the body. So what about this div? This line number 17 div, this div. You could see that this P is descendant of this div. That's what we need to understand. So now that you understand what is called descendant, let's go ahead and apply some CSS to it. So how can I style this particular element here? Because this one is nested inside div, we have so many ways of styling it. If I select P, for example, let me save it. Let me go to my CSS and then let me target all P element, and let's say color of it is going to be red. Now see that for all P tags, it has been changed to red. That's one way. Or I can give all these P elements with the same class name, say title. So this P has title here, and this P has title here, and this P has title here. So if I come here and select using class dot title, if I save it, it's still the same. I can also use ID also to be the same. But here comes the descendant selector. Let me undo. Let's say that I don't want to select all P elements, but I want to select specific element, and that element must be a descendant of what I'm going to select. And that's what you call descendant selector. Let me show you. So let's say I want to style P, this div, or any P tag which is descendant of this div. So come up here. Now I'll type in div. So now div is my parent. Okay. And now inside the div, what element do I want to style? P. So you bring div and space and P. That's what you call a spacer. And then my curly braces. So I make it color of say red. Now you see that I have selected only this div, only this P, which is a descendant of the div. So I can add couple of P tags here. So let's say, follow Innovatech Academy. You see that when I save it, is P, this follow Innovatech Academy, going to be red or not? Guess right. I'm saying it's going to be red. When I save it, we see it's red. Even though I have multiple P, but because I use Descendant Selector, it has selected that particular element to style. That's the beauty of Descendant Selector. So depending how you want to go by, the choice is yours.